Welcome to Greenbelt Neighbors. I'm Cynthia Swan.
And I'm Meg Haney. On this show, we will be introducing you to many of our unique, interesting, and active Greenbelt neighbors.
And today we have with us Sandra Dwiggins, ceramics teacher at the Community Arts Center.
Welcome, Sandy.
Thank you.
So glad you're here today.
Glad to be here.
I wanted to invite you to join us and consulted with Meg, and we decided, yep, she's the one.
That's great.
Because you have become a really, there's a special word for it, but everybody knows you and knows your work. And I was really interested in taking your class, and I met you a year ago, and I began the hand building class. And I have to say, I'm hooked.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Well, you must be an amazing teacher then.
Well, I love having Cynthia in the class.
Oh,
because she does all different kinds of things, not the ones I tell her to do,
Okay, right.
but her own work. And fortunately, I'm that kind of teacher. You know.
It is fortunate because you are a wonderful teacher. You give us time and influence our work, good advice, show us the technique, and allow us to be surprised by the outcome.
There you go. Yeah.
Can you tell us what brought you here to Greenbelt to teach ceramics and how long you've been here?
Well, I was asked, actually.
Okay.
One night I received a phone call from the person who was the arts coordinator back then, and she said, would you like to teach a hand building class at Greenbelt? And I thought, that's interesting because basically I'm a thrower. But I said, sure, because at that time I was teaching in Vienna, Virginia at a community center, and also over here at Montgomery Arts College, which is no longer in existence. And I thought, oh, they're down the road from me. It's so convenient, and yes. So I gave up those two classes and just started here.
We are certainly glad you did.
Yes.
Well, I am glad we did. I'm glad I did too.
So I have this question that's kind of existential, is like, well, why clay?
Why clay? Clay to me is just this wellspring of creativity. And the thing about clay is it's never the same. You can come in and the clay will be absolutely not wanting to do anything. It's going to be too hard, and you left it and you thought it was going to be fine because you wrapped it up and you thought it'll be exactly the same because you've got the right atmosphere. But you come in and no, it's not, or it's too soft, or something. Anyway, clay it always is a partner with you.
Yes.
You and it have to work together to make what you're trying to make.
So you have a real relationship with that clay. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, what is your background in art? I mean, have you done other things in the art field?
Well, I used to consider myself a painter, and I have been taking drawing lessons since I was about 8. So it's, for a long time I was two-dimensional,
Okay.
and didn't really consider myself a sculptor until later when I started really working with clay, when I realized I wasn't going to be a thrower, because production work is just not for me.
I see, right.
I can understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anything that's going on right now for you in terms of shifts in your work?
Yeah, I've started recently making architectural structures. So they're much bigger than what I usually work in or work with, but that's really where I'm going now. So I've worked on one that is quite large, and I call it a henge stone because it has reminiscences of antiquity about it.
Very neat. Yeah, that's great.
And I'm working on it, and that one's finished, and I'm working on another one now that is influenced by African architecture. So that's where I'm going.
Wow.
So how do you, well, tell us a little bit more about firing and the raku, or the fire curing of the pot.
Okay. Well, there are many different ways to fire. My favorite method of firing is wood fire. I was too old when I first got my chance to do wood fire, and now I can't put in the extra energy that really it takes and the mobility it takes to do it. But I find myself still drawn to that and still doing it as much as I can possibly do. But there are all different methods. There's what we use electric firing here in the community center.
Okay.
And there's raku, which is taking a pot that's been brought up to a certain temperature, putting it into a whole bunch of straw in a closed container, and that gives a totally different surface.
Right,
Yeah.
everything's unique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
that's great.
unique. Yeah.
This is fascinating. There's so much to this topic, and we want to thank you for coming today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Can we have
I
you
enjoyed
back
it.
and
Yes.
do a second series?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so
And
much,
in
Sandy.
lieu of that, if you're interested in taking the hand building class or any others at the community center, check on the city website.
Join us next time on Greenbelt Neighbors.